This is The Weekly on ClickOrlando.com with Justin Warmoth.
Good morning, I'm Justin Warmoth. As the United States, Canada, and Mexico prepare to host the 2026 FIFA World Cup, the battle is heating up among cities still in the running to host games. Orlando, one of 17 finalists, hoping for that incredible opportunity, which would have an estimated $5 billion economic impact on the region. This morning, we're joined by one of the key players in the bidding process, Greater Orlando Sports Commission CEO, Jason Siegel. All right, Jason, great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good morning. Good to see you.
So, World Cup qualifying matches for 22 underway. I think it's getting a lot of people excited, no doubt, especially if, the United States can qualify. And I think it has a lot of people wondering where things stand for 26. Of course, Orlando in the running to be a host city. So take us through that process. What's the latest?
Yeah, as you know, we started this exercise in July of 2017. So I could have got a 4-year degree in the same time that it's taken to get to this point, but it's been a great process. I think that to have the kind of collaborative community that we have that has been able to come together, we do this day in and day out. It's interesting. During the presentation that we had to FIFA a couple of weeks ago, and I'll talk about that, we said to them, we don't do this once a year, once a month, once a week. We do this every day in our community, welcoming folks, obviously the tourism capital of the United States. The update is this. We had FIFA here. That was long overdue. Of course, the pandemic pushed us back, almost 18 months. We had started to plan to see them in March of 2020. And then here we are, September of 2021, where FIFA finally was able to get overseas. Most of those folks came from Zurich. There were some folks from Canada, some people from executives and their leadership teams and delegates that came from U.S. Soccer, from Chicago. But we had about 24 people here in the community on September 18th. We had a terrific day. 4 different groups went out into our community. They went and saw all of our training sites. They went and saw our Fan Fest locations. They spent a lot of time at Camping World Stadium, of course. And then we had our host committee that was together to welcome and sort of really deep dive into all the details. This bid is over 2,000 pages with CAD drawings and analysis and all kinds of renderings and just series of questions in multiple categories. We've got 12 subcommittees that have been gathering for the last 3-4 years working on this project. It's a big deal. It's a big opportunity. And we feel like we're in really good shape.
So we're one of 11 possible host cities. We're a finalist, 17 finalists currently, but 11, right, will be chosen. I mean, I know that's a little confusing because you see 10, you see 11. Is it 11?
Yeah, so for context, there's 17 US cities that are still bidding. There are 2 Canadian cities left and 3 Mexican cities that are left. When Montreal dropped out of the running in Canada, there has been an awful lot of discussion that could mean an open seat, another seat for a city in the US. So instead of 10, you might have 11. That's to be determined. There's been a lot of talk that maybe Vancouver would be the 3rd Canadian city, although they pulled out of the process. So it's hard to say. At this point, no confirmation, but listen, we whether it's 10 or 11, we feel good about our chances.
It seems that certain markets on the list, some finalists, are possibly no-brainers and, based on size, location, the reputation. New York City, we're talking New York City, we're talking LA, we're talking about the main hubs of the United States. Is that kind of how you see it? And I mean, Orlando isn't New York City, but we offer certain things that New York City cannot. So let's go over some of the factors that FIFA is looking at when they are going to, ultimately make their decision.
Absolutely. I think that this is a very technical process. So I think from the outside looking in, it's very easy to handicap the race and say, oh, biggest stadiums, newest stadiums, end of story. That's the narrative. And it's not. That is not the narrative. What's truly happening behind the scenes there are at least 50 different points of differentiation between all of the cities. And I think when you start to look at Orlando and, market size, for sure, we're 17th in the country. Interestingly enough, in June and July, our capacity, the elasticity within this community grows dramatically. We're speaking, Visit Orlando has been terrific and a big help, but speaking to their researchers, we have an extra 640,000 visitors a day in June and July. The size of our community grows and expands. If you factor that in, we're around the 10th, 11th largest city in the country. So we certainly have a lot of firepower. We have a lot of size and scope that we can provide. But at the core of it all, we host 76 million visitors a couple of years ago at the height of our economic explosion of within the tourism space. 50 million people through our airport, a couple 100,000 hotel rooms and places for people to stay. There are a lot of factors that go into the bid process. And not only are we compliant, we exceed expectations. And frankly, when it came to accommodations, which was one of the categories, we scored a perfect score, which should be no surprise to anybody in this community, the way that we go about hosting and the way that we're collaborative about our approach. So I think that we check a lot of boxes, but I think what FIFA saw when they were here is that this is not a community that works in silos. You have a public-private partnership that works in concert with all of our tourism stakeholders, and we do it right, and we do it in a way that most cities can't do. And let's not forget, you have major media partners in this community, right? I mean, NBC Universal and Disney, ABC, ESPN, all of our, all of that coming together. Our theme park communities are certainly, our local organizing committee, our pursuit team, 450 senior level executives in this community that have been working together on this project. Human rights, 75 individuals on that committee. Safety and security, sustainability, all of these factors that come together to make for this, what's going to be, probably for its time, the largest global event in the history of sports. And I say that because they're going to expand the field. There's going to be 48 nations playing in the World Cup in 2026. Right now we have 32. So it's going to be a very sizable event. And Orlando, not only can we meet expectations, we will exceed expectations.
And coming up, Siegel will dive deeper into some of the key factors that FIFA is weighing, like climate and transit, and whether Orlando checks all the boxes to be a host city. Stay with us.
This is The Weekly on ClickOrlando.com with Justin Warmoth.
Welcome back. For the first time ever, the 2026 FIFA World Cup will be hosted by 3 nations, the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Across North America, 16 cities will get to host matches, and Orlando is still in the running. But some are speculating the City Beautiful falls short on some key factors FIFA executives are looking for in a host city. Our guest this morning, Greater Orlando Sports Commission CEO Jason Siegel, disagrees with the critics who point to Central Florida's summer climate as one potential problem.
A, we did host in 1994. B, if you are a proper football fan, a European football fan, South American, open air stadium with climate, I think that we took a look back. So we looked at the last 10, 15 years, and we took a look at temperatures around the country in the July, the late June, early July time period. This year, it was hot all over the country. It didn't matter which city you took a look at. I think if you were talking a little bit later in the season, where you were talking September and hurricane season, that would be a factor. But June, July, it's hit or miss. I mean, certainly it's more, we're on an average going to be a little warmer than other cities, but I think it's just a roll of the dice. And I think when FIFA looks at the climate and they look at those types of, they start to think about the pitch. So I think we think of it in different terms. We talk about the quality of the pitch that we can provide for them. So the irrigation system, we're going to probably have to raise the pitch a little bit to meet some of the qualifications. We have that in our plans. We want to deliver the absolute best grass, natural turf field that we possibly can. And I think that's going to, be a differentiator. I think that our thoughtfulness as it relates to that grass surface is going to be a game changer. And we have one of the finest consultants in the country that's working with us on that. And I know that the FIFA folks know how serious we take the way that we're going to present the game and the field itself, the pitch itself.
When we're talking about transit, obviously that's a number of different things. MCO, and then the future of Brightline and the high-speed rail that will one day take folks from Miami to Orlando in the near future on high-speed rail. That's a positive. MCO being a huge carrier, a huge hub with tons of flights. That's a positive. The negatives, the public transit around the city of Orlando, around Camping World, I think that would be classified as a negative. So let's first talk about the Brightline, the future of Brightline, and how that will factor in.
Yeah, so we'll go even a little bit further. So I think that when FIFA ultimately, the feedback that we're getting and the way that we're sort of maneuvering and strategizing, when we look at a clustered approach to travel, a sustainable approach, you have the world's travelers, right? Folks that are coming out for the FIFA World Cup. These are life enthusiasts. They are world travelers. They are certainly going to be in an age and demographic, and they have experience traveling the world over. I think from a sustainability and from a thoughtfulness related to the time that it's going to take to get from city to city, I truly believe that FIFA will cluster the cities and they will take a look at groups and pairings of cities. So a Miami, Orlando, Atlanta, Southeast makes an awful lot of sense. And the fact that you'll be able to get from Orlando to Miami on high-speed rail is a game changer. I think it's a competitive advantage that we'll have. Certainly, the number of flights from Orlando to Atlanta, I think that's a big deal. And I think that as folks start to see the footprint of where we're going to be hosting not only matches, but fan fests and all the other activities that are going to go on in Orlando, I think what FIFA is learning is the fact that we have most of that able to be clustered in the downtown, and then of course have so many entertainment options surrounding us is actually a positive. I think if you look at other cities where their stadiums are not downtown, and you'd have to have the center of the city in one location, and then maybe you have to travel 20, 30, 40 miles to get to the match location, I think that presents more of a challenge. I think we're actually on the right side of that opportunity, the way that we're located and structured here in Orlando.
So Camping World Stadium, just to kind of backtrack here, would be the site.
Yes.
Exploria Stadium,
Mm-hmm.
Orlando City's home field, right next door.
Yep.
Not everyone has that. Not every city has that, and they might have two different stadiums, but not next door like those two venues are. That's also got to be something for FIFA to weigh.
Yes, and the reason that it's important is we had to provide to FIFA training site locations for the clubs, for the teams, that are going to be operating here in Orlando. So essentially, we had to provide, and we did, 4 locations. We gave them 2 sites in Seminole County, Sylvan Lake and Seminole Soccer. UCF is a complex that we presented as well. Osceola Heritage Park, where the City Soccer, of course, trains the Pride. They train in Seminole. And lastly, of course, we provided them with, and they toured Exploria Stadium, that would also be potentially a training location. And let's not also forget that what the World Cup also needs base camps for the 48 countries. Now, of course, the U.S. will pick a headquarters, Mexico will pick a headquarters, and Canada will pick a headquarters. But for the other 45 countries, they'll set up shop for anywhere from 30 to 60 days. They'll call that a base camp. And we have many other offerings here in this community where we can offer a terrific location for a base camp as well.
So what can you do? What can the city of Orlando do between now and when FIFA ultimately announces their decision, which can you give us a rough estimate on when that could be?
Yeah, they've shared with us that they expect to make a decision sometime first or second quarter of 2022. Obviously, they're going to go into believe it or not, they're 1 year out from Qatar in November of 21 for November of 22. And their calendar is just rolling. I mean, they have Women's World Cup right after that. I mean, so I imagine that they'll want to bring this exercise to a close. We'll get an answer, probably within the next 4 to 6 months. For us right now, as far as what we can do, we're negotiating. So right now, the negotiations are taking place. There's an awful lot of back and forth. Our community, what we presented in 2018 looks a lot differently now. We have the C terminal, we have I-4 Ultimate, and we have the downtown campus for UCF and Valencia. We have so much expansion and so much, there's so much new that's going on in our community. We had to go back, not to mention, of course, $267 million worth of renovations to Camping World Stadium. So it was great for them to be here, boots on the ground, to see everything. But at the same time, so much has changed, and we have to make sure that they're clear on all of the opportunities and all of the advantages that we can present to them as a host city.
And Siegel also pointed out the success Orlando had when hosting the NBA and MLS restart last year, proving we have what it takes to host major sporting events. Fingers crossed, FIFA echoes those thoughts. My thanks to Jason Siegel for the time this week. For more information on the bidding process and what this could mean for Central Florida, just head to clickorlando.com/weekly. I'm Justin Wormuth. Have a great Sunday.